you got to learn who applauds for you. You got to learn that when you, like, I've gotten to the place in life where I don't tell my business. And what I mean by that, whether it's personal, professional, my goals for the podcast are, I might say them like being syndicated is one of my dreams and goals, but I don't say how it's going to happen, when it's going to happen, because I don't trust nobody like that outside of obviously DK, who's my business partner. But I'm very mindful about what I tell the universe and what comes out of my mouth. I'm very mindful of my thoughts. I'm very mindful about who's around me, because the worst thing you can do is be like me and have a good heart. And you tell the people that you love or the people that you think are going to support you, and you tell them and you literally see hate in their eyes, or you see the dismissiveness in their eyes. Like, when I say that is one of the hardest things to swallow, like that's more than your ego and your pride that you got to swallow. That's real hurt, because it's like, I would never do somebody like that. Like me personally, I champion everybody. You want to write a book? Let's do it. You want a podcast? Let's do it. You want a website? Let's do it. You want to do this? Let's do it. I refer so many people to DK to the point where he's like, stop.
Welcome to the Love Is Podcast with your host, that thorny chick, Karen KK Rose, and her co-host, the lovable a-hole, that's right, I said lovable, Mr. DK Walker, where they will be discussing love, relationships, family, life, sex, self-help, and what it takes to be a successful entrepreneur. Why? Because love is everything, and everything should be loved. Now to today's podcast.
So Kobe just got to the league, right? Mm-hmm. And Shaq was like, young fella, I'm open. And so Kobe just ignored him, just gave him that look. And so, they up and down, calling him time to go back. And so Shaq again was like, Kobe, like, I got my man, I got him beat him, got him pinned down low. Kobe still ignored him. They went back out, up and down, up and down. So now it's halftime. So Shaq pulled up on him like, yo, can I get the ball? Man, Kobe told Shaq, fuck that shit. Get it off the rebound if I miss. Now, granted, Shaq was already an all-star player. He was already dominating the league. He has yet to win any rings, right? But, you know what I mean? He was like, I ain't passing the rock. Like, that was Kobe's mentality. I ain't passing the rock, you know what I mean? And the audacity of a kid to tell, somebody's already established in the league like that, right? And so, like, I probably wonder, like, what the hell is DK talking about? Like, nah, so sometimes when I be running my mouth on a rant, I be on my Kobe shit. And so Karen be like, DK, pass me the rock. And I be,
and he on his Black Mamba moment, like, yeah, reel it in, sir.
Yeah, you better wait till I pause. Like if I don't if I don't pause, you just hit. Man. And that's a beautiful thing. So that lets you know, right? Okay, so we got a lot to talk about today, but that just lets you know back in the day. And this is the caveat is way before I got married. That's why the women love me, because like I'm.
All right, LL. All right, ladies love.
Long-winded. And I mean, talk about the stroke game. I'm just talking about, you got to be creative. That's the only thing I'm going to say.
All right, ladies love. All right, ladies love.
Do not got to take a breath, girl. I'm just trying to tell you.
All right, ladies love. Cool DK. Sit your ass down somewhere.
I'm just saying.
Turn your head around, because you already on one.
I'm just, gotta be creative.
Hush face.
Medium dick energy, you just gotta be creative. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, Lord. Hello, everyone. It's your girl, it's that Thorny Chic here in KK Rose. Obviously, alongside my co-host, Lovable Asshole DK Walker, who has taken us through Lakers history, Black Mamba mentality, and his own version of LL Cool J. So, DK, you got any more things you want to tell the people real quick?
Nah. I'm just, sometimes, I walk down memory lane and I invite y'all along for the ride, so thank y'all for allowing me to indulge. But, I'm just was giving my co-host, so give y'all a little backstory, a little, because, we started with the podcast with me talking. It just, I go on my rants. And I know if you're a faithful listener, like, this dude really hogs the fucking mic. And it's not necessarily intentional.
Oh, it's not?
No, it's not. I don't.
That's just you. Yeah.
Right. I don't hit the record button like I'm about to just talk for the whole. Like, nah. Like I don't know. I'm a talkative person.
Yes.
And I'm long-winded.
You're an effective communicator.
Yeah. I can sell, shit to an asshole. Matter of fact, I can sell. I can sell shit to a constipated asshole.
You can say you can sell shit to yourself.
I mean, I'm not. I believe, and that's you're right, by the way. So let me help you out. Look, so you got to believe the shit that's coming out your mouth. That's the only people that rock with you. Like, and that's what happens. A lot of people get the going, and people will listen, and they think, hey, it was okay. And so what happens, they're listening, and the person that's spewing it, they don't believe it. And so I guess I'm talking to somebody, not even trying to be deep or be early in the podcast, with a DK nugget and or jewel. It's just that, in anything in life, you got to believe it. Like, you can't expect nobody to, bear arms with you. Can't expect nobody to go to war with you. Can't expect to do anything in life if you don't believe, what you're saying. If you're not practicing what you're preaching, and you wonder why you're coming up short. Like, if you always talking to your mate, and I know we got a different whole subject, but I just want to give somebody a quick gem, and I'm gonna keep it moving. Look, if say you're in a relationship, right, and you're always talking about how you and your mate is going to do X, Y, and Z better than what you're currently doing, right? But you're just talking. But your actions don't match your words, and your mate is looking at you like, okay, I'm all in, but I can't take another step because you just talking. And that's what happened with a lot of people, is they just get to be talking. So you really, like, what you got to believe that whatever comes out your mouth, you got to be really, passionate about it, and you got to believe it. I don't give a fuck if it's the biggest lie. You got to believe the bullshit coming out your mouth.
Facts. Let's do quick updates. Your girl is doing well. I went to the gym today. I'm like, physically, I'm sore. I got in the tanning booth because, I'm trying to be summertime fine. I'm at cuffing season. So now I'm trying to be summertime fine. And now I'm working on my ever clear complexion. I thought you'd be very proud, DK. I'm trying to put a little color on this, complexion or actually develop a complexion.
You so silly. Wow.
So I got an hour in the gym, got in the tanning booth, came home, tried out this new Jamaican spot that's here in the city. And my mom actually ordered dinner for us. She's like, hey, can you pick up food on the way home? I was like, oh, sure. So I ate that. And now here we are on the mic. I feel like the way I was irritated before I went to the gym. So I worked out really hard. So I feel like today I'm going to be DK light. So you might, have to share your hat today.
Gotta pardon me. I thought just gonna talk longer, so I'm talking with food in my mouth. Please forgive me, but I love that show. What?
Chew. So, we don't want you to choke.
No. That's one of the things about being long-winded. Also gotta, Anyway, we'll talk about it later. So,
you and me, or you and the listeners? I just want to be clear.
I'm just, I don't know who's going. I'm gonna talk to somebody about it later. You know what I mean?
You're gonna be talking to Jesus.
No. He blessed me with, my attributes. Still need to talk to him about it. I need to thank him for them, right? Right. So now, as far as like, I understand that you might be DK light. You might just want to be KK period, because I don't know, lately, I don't even want to share none of that. I don't want to share none of my energy.
You don't want to share no more?
I don't want to share my energy. You got to come up with your own thing.
Listen, I'm the bald-headed hoe shit. Listen, sir.
Yeah. So, because it takes a lot to be me. I don't know if you want to borrow that, because, people love you, right? People stay in your DMs. People, like, when they want to do business and talk, they don't want to have a conversation with me, right? They don't want to.
Completely bypass your call my line. I'm like, this ain't got nothing to do with me. This is a whole DK conversation that I got to translate back to the man. I'm like, what did you call me for?
Right. People don't even want to, like, they don't want to have and it's kind of crazy. I'm like, is this a personality? I'm not that. Okay, I just lied. I'm really, I'm just one of the nice. And that's the thing it says. So the adjective is lovable asshole, right? So now, like, you might don't want to ball into this because it stains you. I promise you.
It does, because, everybody's like, DK says that you stand up to P. You're damn right I stand up to P. You want me to teach you how? Like, don't come for me. DK said, you right. DK does say that. But here's the killer part. DK said, DK can back up whatever he said, because DK know I'll pull up. I'll get in the car, drive to his house, knock on the door, bop, 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 and I'm back in the car. DK equally can pull up. I said, but you ain't got those kind of rights to me. You ain't got that kind of privilege to me. You ain't. So you might want to be, be very mindful of how you DK me, because my relationship with DK, my relationship with you is two different things. Like, that's my business partner for 4 years. He could talk a lot of shit. That's cool. We make, we're making a business life together. We're making moves over here. That's different. You and me, we ain't got no business together at all. Not in real life or fake life. So listen, you might want to be careful about how you approach me. So, you
Watch
know,
what you say to me.
listen, I'm still on Jasmine Sullivan. Don't forget
Okay.
to pick up your feelings, because listen, I'll
Man.
hurt him and care nothing about it. But no,
Wow.
life is good. I can't complain about my friends, do it, and they do it in a joking manner. But when other people do it, I'm like, I wouldn't necessarily bark up the DK tree with me, because I ain't necessarily, it depends on how you catch me. Might be sleepy, I might not be in the mood. DK might have yelled at me earlier in the day because of something I forgot or something I didn't do, or something
You
things
gotta
I
stop
didn't do.
you gotta stop putting that false nerve. You act like I'm just a browbeating bastard. Try saying that shit fast 5 times. A browbeating bastard, a browbeating bastard, a browbeating
Hashtag.
bastard. Right. Make sure, yeah. But
Hashtag brown
I'm
beady
not.
bastard.
Yeah.
Listen, I did it. Hashtag brown beady bastard.
Right. So that's not necessarily me, right? Like, we have conversations, and once every blue, those conversations can be intense. But for the most part, I'm a pretty fair guy. I like to think so anyway. That's the lie I tell myself. That's the bullshit I believe. That I'm a pretty fair guy.
You want me to prove this theory real fast?
Say again?
You want me to prove this theory real fast? Listen, whose business is it?
What? Whose business is who?
No, don't act confused. Whose business is it?
Who business is it? What are you talking? Like, people don't need to. Look what you're going with the show.
You ain't gonna put that big. Oh, you're not gonna put that big dick energy out.
Anyway, like, what's going on with the family, man? How's guy A? How's your mom?
Mom had a little, no, I don't want to say a health scare. It's really not a health scare. Both my parents actually did. She is like, she just had some med changes, and she's not really, liking the new meds. She's got to go see a new doctor. So she's not really thrilled about that part. My dad had a faux health scare. He got some lab work back, and of course he went to Dr. Google and WebMD, and then, pretty much diagnosed himself with like cancer. All of a sudden now he's dying, which then led him to go to a specialist out of the city, just to be told that, he pretty much wasted his physician's time, his time, and the specialist's time. So that was kind of a cute little chuckle, because we all knew he was a little, hypochondriac-ish, as it was. And so now they just kind of proved the point. I'm like, so you drove, 2 hours out the way for something that you were told 2 weeks ago that you were perfectly fine about? Yeah. And in his mind, the logic made sense. So, my guy is doing well. My niece is doing well. My guy A, oh Lord, that's a whole, listen, I need to know where his battery pack is, because it needs to come out. I had him over the weekend. He didn't take a nap, so he went to bed relatively early. And early for him, he went to bed like 9, 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock he was out. And he woke up at 6:30 the next morning.
Yeah, that's when you're supposed to keep him. You're supposed to keep his ass up to 1 o'clock in the morning.
But even if you keep him up to 1, he still is like relatively going to wake up like 7, 8 at the latest. 8:30, he's wide awake. So 6:30, he wakes up. Gigi, I want juice. Gigi, I want this. Gigi, I want that. I'm like, listen, I will give you my phone. I will turn on Netflix. You can watch whatever movie you want to, because of course it's on the kids setting. I'm like, watch whatever movie. Do not get out the bed. Do not leave. And he's like, oh, okay. And so that only lasted till about 8 o'clock, because once he heard my mom up, he wanted to go see what she was doing. And so then he went upstairs while she was getting ready for church and bothered her. And then my ex came in, and he was here for a little bit, and I thought he was going to take him, but they ended up hanging out. I fell asleep on the couch while they were doing whatever. And then my daughter came and got him. So I actually go pick him up from daycare, which is, I think, maybe the first or second time it's happened. So I'm actually excited. I'm going to see him for a little bit before I go to work. I'm on call tomorrow, and I think I got to go in for like 4 hours or something like that. But it's like late. I got to go in like 11 p.m. So it's going to suck. I got to work like 11 to 3 and then go back at 11 a.m. So it's going to be some rough days here coming up with the girl. Other than that, life's good. Can't complain.
Cool.
Back in the gym, trying to stay on my 4-day regimen. Kind of slacked. I went Friday and I got off. I got off work. And so I got off work at like 11:15. I was at the gym by 11:30. I didn't leave up out of there till almost 2. And so we didn't get to go the weekend, because obviously you and I were both here working on the Love Is podcast. And, I had Guy A. So that was kind of my weekend shot. Sunday I ran errands. So I was like, yep, no more days off in the gym. So I went today. Today was an arm day. So I'm sure it's going to be fun getting out of the bed tomorrow. My chest hurt, right? Not like chest pain, but it's tight. Like, ugh. Back hurts.
Yeah, well, it's the price you pay for, and it's cool,
Trying
right?
to be
Because I know that
summertime
you.
fine. I know.
Well, no, see, there you go. You putting words in my mouth. The price you pay for trying to be healthy. The
Yeah.
way you look will be a byproduct of, you being health conscious. But since you told the truth that you don't give a fuck about your health and that you're doing this just to look good with your vain ass, like, hey, let me not yuck your yum, right?
Right. I just want to look good in
Right.
my clothes. That's it. That's all there is really to it. As long as my cholesterol's down and I look good in my clothes, that's a win for me. I fuck the dumb.
That's what's up. Annette still rocking with you in the gym? Did she go today?
Yeah, buddy boy. Listen, I was pissed off Friday. When I left work Friday, I was pissed. I had been pissed the whole day. So I was like killing us Friday. She was the one pissed off today. And originally she called. She's like, I'm not going. I'm like, oh, yes, you are. You're going to bring all that anger to the gym. We killed that shit today. Okay, so yeah, cool. Net's she pushed through, she soldiered through, and she went through it. I mean, I put in like 2 new moves, and she looked at me and she kind of growled at me. I was hollering because it's normally me that's grunting. I got all my mannish ways. I got juggernaut status. So I'm sitting there with a 25-pound plate rotating it over my head and bringing it back down. And she looked at me when she did her set. She growled at me. I hollered. I was like, "Po baby." I was like, "Listen, I gotta work you out the best of my ability."
This is the shit.
We're gonna sleep good.
Facts. Women, I ain't mad. Women go through that. Yeah, I mean, they want to stay summertime fine. A man just buy a new car. Can't afford shit. Broke as a motherfucker. A man will just buy a new car and just open up the passenger door. Like this my version of summertime fine. So we go cop this new car.
Get an extension, right? They get the compensation of their extension.
Right. Exactly. Whereas a woman have to look a certain way.
Right. Gotta go get tweezed, pluck, wax, stay in the gym, tan, get a new sundress, get a pedicure. Listen, there's a lot. And that's the thing that I don't think men always appreciate all the work that we put in to looking good.
I don't know. I can't co-sign that. And here's the reason why. Because sometimes a female be rocking and killing it, and then you give her a compliment, and then for whatever reason, she may just be having a bad day. So her being aloof may have nothing to do with you, right? Let me say that.
Or that could be just her personality.
Okay, right. Or she could be just a bitch, right? So, and I said that, and I don't mean the bitch when I say beautiful, intelligent, tender, caring human being. I don't mean that type of bitch. I mean the bitch like I meant, stink, funky, having, ass having, attitude having bitch. That's what I meant, right? So, but we do notice that. We do. And then, so what happens is we notice it and we don't, men, we're sad Neanderthals. We don't know for the most part. We may say, hey, you look nice. That's a good look. No, we just with the cat calling and we objectify. And so she's like, I want to be, and I'm assuming because I don't know, I'm not a woman, I can't speak for all women. Like, it's nice to be noticed, but don't objectify my body because I'm much more than my body parts, no matter how much of my body is showing. And you got to understand, men are visual. And so we're just going to gravitate to the first thing that we see. There's that we don't know the level of your intelligence because your cleavage is hanging out down to the areola, right? So it's hard to gauge how smart you are when you're just one bounce away from your nipple jumping out. It's like you're really intelligent. You got a high, and then your nipple jump out. We don't know how smart you is. We don't give a fuck at that point.
It's Janet Jackson at Super Bowl all over again.
Right. So you got to cut us some slack.
And it's funny you say that because I posted something the other day and it was a post about, strong women. I said, it's funny because I said, for me, women go into the gym and they lose weight, just so they can walk around half naked. And I'm like, I just want to look good in my clothes. Like, I don't think that I'll ever get to the size where I'll be like walking around half naked because it's just not in me. Like, I just do have a conservative bone in my body. As bald-headed hoe shit as I am, I still don't feel the need, to have my ass hanging out or my tits hanging out. Like, it's just that's not cute for me. I can't talk about anybody else, but I'm like, I don't care how hot it gets. There's just still a level of class that, I think I'm always just going to present.
Okay, right. So it's a level of class that you're going to, represent. Are you saying the women that is walking around half neck, are they being classless?
It depends on how much you're putting out there. I mean, no woman should, be, sexually assaulted or anything like that by how she, about what she wears. But I think there is there's a level of where all women know what's tasteful and what's tasteless. And I think when you have to, have damn near your areola out, we just have, it's just unnecessary because the thing is, we all know that men are visual. And so you kind of put yourself in a crazy situation where, you know, you wear booty shorts or some stuff, and you can wear leggings. I mean, if you wear leggings that are super tight or you don't wear a shirt that covers your ass, you got niggas who is real reckless and they'll just come slap your ass. And it's like, hold on, sir, I have a whole man who will fuck you up. Like, mind your business, let alone me.
Facts. Well, I would go like, no matter what a woman wears, it's her right. But I definitely get your point, you know what I mean? And, we'll jump into whatever after this. We'll be real quick about it. But so a woman has a right to wear whatever, and then let's reserve judgment because once again, you grown for the most part, do what you want to do, rock out how you want to rock. But you have to keep in mind, yes, it gives no man no right to approach you, much less alone touch you. But you got to know by you looking a certain way, the bullshit coming with it. So my thing is, right, you because you're grown and you're your own person, you have that right because you're grown, right? But don't be so naive to think because you're and then a man is going to be mature enough to handle you know what I mean, observing your right. And that's the problem I get. So I don't want to. Right. I don't want women to think like, no, please, by all means, if do that, rock that. Like, but that the stupidity is coming behind with it. It doesn't make it right. Now, I need y'all to hear me on this. That stupidity that comes behind the way that you're rocking, however that you're rocking, does not make it right. I want to emphatically say that because I don't want that to be taken out of context in the soundbite. That's not what I'm saying. But you got to realize once you step out the door and once you step out the door and then, booty cheek is your booty is cheeking and your nipple is nippling, then there's a whole lot of, right. Go ahead, baby. There's a whole lot of stupidity that goes, it's hard to miss me with a rap joint. Look, so it's a whole lot of stupidity that comes with that. And then you get upset like men don't know how to act, they don't know how to, but you can't, you setting yourself up for that unless you want that type of, rah interaction. Because if it doesn't make a difference, then you would rock what you rock. And then when they say what they're going to say, as long as they don't touch you, you're not paying no attention. And so once they see, and of course they're going to call you every name in the book, right? Because, she's stuck up, but you just keep walking because once again, it's not for them, it's for you. But once you entertain the bullshit, right? Then you got to ask yourself, was I really rocking all this for me or was I rocking it off for the reaction? Because you best believe in this day and age, there's always going to be a reaction.
Yeah. And then for me too, the other thing is this, I live in a relatively small city. I mean, it's not like, poor town, it's not Smallville, USA, but at the end of the day,
you got 3 doggone traffic lights. The police department closed at doggone 8:30.
No, they don't. They happen to be
and the mayor's part-time.
Right. Now that part is true. Now that part I give you about the mayor. But I don't necessarily live in Smallville, but I do live in a small town. And so, I have to kind of think of the fact it's a couple of things. One, my parents are still living. I'm somebody's mom, somebody's sister, I'm somebody's aunt, I'm somebody's GG, so there's just, I would never want them to feel some kind of way about something that I have, like them having to kind of quote unquote justify me being objectified, be like, oh, did you see your mom? She had her ass out, right. Like, nah, that's not a good look for me. And again, this is just for KK. I can't speak for nobody else. Or somebody running back and saying, oh, I seen your daughter and she's this, that, and the third. That conversation I don't want to have as grown as I think I am. But the other thing is too, I'm not trying to adjust my clothes 102 times because my thing is the girls who you see with the booty shorts, they gotta constantly pulling that shit down, fixing their shirt. Listen, my goal way back in the gap was to just be able to go through the summer and not have to wear Spanx. That was the whole goal. Now that I'm there, listen, I'm not about to put myself where I gotta keep adjusting my shirt and pulling my shorts down. I ain't doing all that. I want to be comfortable as hell.
Okay. All right then. Okay. All right then. Okay.
So what's going on with you?
Then. I don't know. I really don't know. Like today has been it's been a day. I'm not even going into details. It's just been a day. Everybody's huh?
What a day. What a day.
Yeah, that was timely, if nothing else. But yeah, I'm good, man. I just and like when you get close, I'll say this, we'll move off, right? I just know for fact, like, once you get close to your goals, when you be like your timetable, everything that can go wrong, your thing is okay, it's you still have to make the adjustments. And you just gotta make the adjustments and don't beat yourself up if you miss your timetable. But don't let life stop you from reaching your goals. because no matter what your goals are, life is going to happen. The thing is, let life do what life, because you can't stop life from happening until you're dead, right? So me saying that now on the podcast, in reflection of this a couple of hours ago, is helping me to center, get back on I know it's important. My dates may have changed, but the goal hasn't. You know what I mean?
Right.
So yeah,
And
I'm good. But go ahead.
No, it's funny you said that, because when Annette and I were at the gym, she had told me about, her day, and she was really upset. And, it in turn, like, I took it personally. Granted, it has to do with me, but it doesn't have to do with me. And I was just thinking, I was like, okay, God, like, I woke up today and I was in devotion, and, that's how typically I start my day. I start my day in devotion. And so, day to day, your emotions and your feelings towards certain situations change. And right now my house is in a lot of transition. But my prayer always is those who are, God, that you bless everything that's connected to me. And so, I pray about our business. I pray about my kids. I pray about, our goals and all those kind of things. And so in the midst of working out, and I was going in because I was pissed. Like, that whole situation with Annette pissed me off. And so I'm texting the whole crew, like, letting them know what's going on. Just, keep her in prayer and everything like that, because she's got some personal stuff and professional things going on. And it was bullshit. But I'm like, there's never going to be a point, where you're going to ever be out of bullshit. Like, as long as you work for somebody else. And so, for me, it was just like, okay, this was the thing. When I went to the job that I have now, my goal was I had like a prayer. And I said, God, this is what I want. This is what I expect. This is what I'm manifesting. Done. But I always have the ability to grow comfortable in that space. And every time I choose to grow comfortable in that space, God's like, no, you can't have goals for your business. You can't have goals for your life and then try to get comfortable in a space that's not really the space for you. And so today, I told Annette, I said, when you hear something the first time, it's consultation. When you hear it the second time, it's confirmation. I said the third time you hear it, it's revelation. And I said, God, we sit here and we ask God for things. And then when God tells us, we then sit there and we kind of stuck. And so, for me today, God was just like, listen, the kingdom suffers violence, but the violent take it by force. And I said, so it was really, like you said, like a repositioning. Like today, God just was like, kind of stretching, like standing on the inside of me. And I say this before, and just starting to stretch me a little bit, because he was like, you wanted to grow comfortable where you were because it's easy. What you want is hard. And it's easy just to, like be comfortable and just do a 9 to 5 and get a check. But when you got to step out on your own and you got to make that 9 to 5, more than your 9 to 5, and you got to make sure that you can pay the bills, and you got to make sure, of course it's tough, and nobody wants to, be a failure. Nobody wants to, step out on the faith and then feel like they're going to fail at some point. And sometimes the failure ain't even a failure. The failure is just a setup to your comeback, because what you sometimes want and how you go about business and how you deal with people, it ain't always like the person that you're supposed to be with. Like, we put a lot of effort into people, and sometimes the effort, like, we have to learn that some people are seasonal, some people are lifetime.
Facts. And
in doing that, sometimes we stretch out, their, what do I want to say? Like, their longevity with us. So
facts.
That's what I felt. So, which brings me to, today's topic is that some people really don't give a fuck about you, the person, and what you're going through. They just hope you're okay enough to still come through for them. So I'll say it again. Some people really don't give a fuck about you and what you're going through. They just hope you're okay enough to still come through for them.
Mean, Johnny, mean.
Sing it,
Daddy. Oh, my people. Anyway, like, come on now. That was by far 1996 was the greatest year ever. Well, no, I take it back. It was the second greatest year ever, right? 2009, was the greatest year ever. So, but anyway, what you said was a buck. So I'm gonna get out the way and I'm gonna let you expound upon what you just said, and say it again in case people forgot what you said, because I was, having a moment being silly. And yeah.
Some people really don't fuck with you and what you're going through. They just hope you're okay enough to still come through for them. Now, for me, facts on facts on facts. Like, this is a major facts moment. You got to learn who applauds for you. You got to learn that when you, like, I've gotten to the place in life where I don't tell my business. And what I mean by that, whether it's personal, professional, my goals for the podcast are, I might say them like being syndicated is one of my dreams and goals. But I don't say how it's going to happen, when it's going to happen, because I don't trust nobody like that outside of obviously DK, who's my business partner. but I'm very mindful about what I tell the universe and what comes out of my mouth. I'm very mindful of my thoughts. I'm very mindful about who's around me, because the worst thing you can do is be like me and have a good heart. And you tell the people that you love or the people that you think are going to support you, and you tell them and you literally see hate in their eyes, or you see the dismissiveness in their eyes. Like, when I say that is one of the hardest things to swallow. Like, that's more than your ego and your pride that you got to swallow. That's real hurt, because it's like, I would never do somebody like that. Like, me personally, I champion everybody. You want to write a book? Let's do it. You want a podcast? Let's do it. You want a website? Let's do it. You want to do this? Let's do it. I refer so many people to DK to the point where he's like, stop. Don't send me nobody else, because I'm not. Like, we got enough stuff to do. Like, you got to stop. But that's just my heart. My heart is to help others. But the thing is that you go through life and sometimes you can't even pick up the phone to call nobody, because nobody really fucks with you like that. Nobody really wants to see you win. They just want to make sure you win. So, like, for me personally, like at the podcast, I can't say if. I retract my statement, Jesus. When the podcast takes off, of course, everybody wants me to win, because then they get to say, oh, that's my sister. Oh, that's my best friend. Oh, that's my significant other. Oh, that's my this. You want to say you know me, but you never want to say that you listen to the podcast. You can't even tell me what your favorite episode is. You can't tell me how many people you've even recommended to listen to my shit. And we put out good shit. You can't. People want to see you win for their own benefit. And that's the most fucked up part about it. And the thing is, we make it about outside people. No. I'm going to keep it a buck in DK voice. I'm going to keep it a buck. And these be the motherfuckers that you live with. These the motherfuckers that you love. These the motherfuckers you sleep with. These the motherfuckers that you raise. These are the motherfuckers that you literally see day to day. There you go. I ain't got to be DK Light, baby. I'll bring it to you straight 100, no chaser, Thorny Chic all day. We make it about it.
Okay. I'm like a proud father over here. My job is done.
Wipe your tears, sir. Wipe your tears. But we do. We make it about other people, because we've gotten so used to being, social media hype. And listen, I'm a social media like junkie. DK would first tell you, I got a TikTok. I got 2 Instagram pages. I got 3 Instagram pages, 4 with the business. I got 5 Facebook pages. I got 2 personal Facebook pages. Like, I have 5 like pages, I say, and I have 2 personal pages. If nobody else is on social media, it's KK. I'm on social media more than probably the average person whose literal business is social media. I do it for the podcast. I do it for listeners. Y'all love me on TikTok because I do the dumbest shit, which is funny. Don't get me wrong. But outside of social, I don't live off social media hype. I don't. Y'all like it, love it. It's great. It feeds me to do more dumb shit. But I'm more concerned about the people who say they love me, and you show me the least amount of love when it comes to my professionalism. Y'all know I got a podcast and they never listened to an episode. Wait, what? I got a podcast and you ain't even told the niggas you work with, and all y'all do is sit around and listen to radio all day. It ain't that hard to listen to a podcast. Just saying. I'll drop the mic. I'll take a breath.
Lord.
Is that your church mother? Huh?
Lord. Gather today, people. We have witnessed the sermon of one Kern KK Rose, the Thorny Chic, coming out of 1 Corinthians 2, Kiss My Red Ass, where I will no longer tolerate the fake friendships in my life.com. Today has been, I would no longer tolerate the fake smiles. I will no longer tolerate just the fakeness for fake sake. I won't tolerate this coming out of the book of Karen, 1st chapter, 13 bald-headed hoe shit. Pass collection plate.
Like, on some real shit though. Do you know I had somebody tell me that they were like, oh, our relationship got replaced by your podcast, and no, it's not the SO. I was like, what? I'm like, you've been my motherfucking homie forever. If anything happened to you, devastated, come running. You know my kids. I know your kid. You know my mom and dad. Like, we know each other. And you said, what? You got replaced by what? I said, when my dreams and goals are not important to you, you don't love me. Let me be, and I'll say it again. When my dreams and goals are not important to you, you can't support that, then you really don't love me. Don't say you do, because you can't. If what is important to me is not important to you, then we gotta listen. It's very Boys to Men. We've come to the end of the road. That's it. That's all.
Can't go on. It's unnatural. You be okay. You don't belong to me. Get the fuck on out of my life. Whoa. So I asked my co-host nicely early in the podcast to not put on my hat. And the reason I asked my co-host not to put on my hat for one simple thing only is because if she rocks my hat, that means I can't rock my own shit. Psych, I lied. Look, man, what she said was like a buck. Like, that's just like, and the reason I was going through that, the fake church stuff, I was having fun, but I had to quiet that voice. There's a voice inside of me that will like when somebody's speaking the truth, when somebody's speaking a buck, I don't know where the fuck the double up come from. I don't, right? But when somebody's speaking a buck, like, whoa, like it hit home. And when she said hits home, right? That's my circle was so small. Like my circle was like real live. Like I'm going to keep it like really real, right? I'm going to give y'all, this is my circle right here, right? It's going to help somebody. I'm going to tell y'all my circle, right? My circle is God. My circle is my little brother. That's Kenneth Hickson, right? My circle, of course, is my business partner in crime. You know what I mean? They tolerate my doggone lunacy. Crime. The shit we doing is a fucking crime. Like I promise you, in some states on the books we can get arrested for this shit.
No, Sade, no, we not.
Yeah, we can get arrested for the shit we're going to do or about or have done, right? You know what I mean? Kern, like she rock out. You know what I mean? And that's my circle. You know what I mean? So you ain't name your wife. Okay, cool. I did not name my wife. Don't even worry about it. We have a strange relationship. I'm gonna keep it a buck. And I'm not saying this to insult nobody's name, right? So you didn't mention, your oldest brother. Cool, not a problem. Like I love John, but you have to understand what my circle is to me, right? So when I say God understands, and then I pray and I'm going someplace and I'm going to pull it all together. Like I'm having fun, but I promise you, I'm gonna pull it all together. I'm gonna get somebody a nugget or two to rock out. So I pray to God and I tell God to protect me from my worst enemy, right? My worst, like anybody like, okay, who's it's me. I'm my worst enemy. So that's my ultimate and that's my go-to prayer. It's not deep. I don't bother God with a lot, but I do when I remember, like, God, please protect me from me, because nobody's not going to do me wrong more so than me, right? So that's the part he plays in my circle. Now, my little brother, we iron sharpen iron. Me and this dude would have a podcast ourselves, but we probably could talk for 2 years straight now to take a break. So we don't want to do nobody that disservice, right? But we push, we pull, we support, we give ideas, we make connections, recommendations. We go on each other's nerves. We talk crazy. We call each other out on their bullshit. Like we genuinely want to see each other win, right? I'm going to tell you how, and I'm going to get to Karen, right? I gave you God, and of course God is much bigger than, protecting me from me. God is all things and everything in my life. Let me be the first to say that out of my mouth, right? Let me give you why my little brother is who he is in my life, right? So, because like I told you earlier, he keeps me and he doesn't let me go just with, with my head in the clouds on la la land. Me just thinking, but never doing. If y'all, has been listening to a podcast, I told you he actually brought me to tears when I was in the bookstore because I was talking about something and like, you've been talking about this forever and you ain't never, like, that's all you're doing is talking, Slim. And that hurt. Because I'm thinking I'm being deep, but he see the bullshit because I'm just talking. There was nothing to match it. I told you earlier there was nothing. See, and then I'm going to bring it back. That's what I do, right? So like I told you, I was really talking about me because I was talking and there was nothing to match what I was talking about. And my little brother caught me on it and it hurt. You don't supposed to notice that. Nah, how we going to kick it every day and I don't notice, right? And that's what people in your circle is. So the name of this podcast is Friend to Foe, right? And what happens, a lot of people, y'all confuse the people in your life as, friends, family. On a cool, if you just pull back the top layer, you see your biggest foes. And like my co-host said, and when they not clapping, they not really supporting. My thing is, you don't even got to be a podcast listening person to support, right? But there's other things that you can do, right? There's a lot of things that you can do to show your support. Like at least ask questions. At least, like she say, recommend. There's so many things that you can do. Like if I give you some doggone news and if your eyes don't light up and I see like, whatever look, I'm looking at you strange. Like, oh, that's how you really feel, huh? Okay, cool. Not a problem. And I don't give it no energy. Now the young me will go out my way to prove them wrong. The old me that knows better doesn't give a fuck. I'm happy that you revealed your hand. I'm going to be honest, right? it'll be virtually impossible to penetrate my inner circle. I'm just keeping it real, right? And that's no disrespect to the people I love, right? I love my wife to life, right? I love my oldest brother. I love everybody, but like my inner circle, like I understand that they're my go-to to get me across the hump. A lot of people claiming all these people just to be cool. Like, oh, that's my man. Oh, hey, sis. And like, okay, cool. But you claim these people like you do more for them than they even attempt to do for you.
Say that part again.
You do more. I promise you. I told you I'm going to weave it all together. Like, calm down. You do more for them than they attempt to do for you. And the part that kills me with all that is just like you, and you so excited. Like anytime you include it, you excited just to be included. You know what I mean? You so excited to be in the mix. Right. But if you really like look at it objectively, like, okay, what am I getting out of this? And I don't mean far as tangibles, right? I'm talking about the bare necessity of support. Most of you motherfuckers ain't even getting that. You just happy to be in the mix. And you wonder why your doggone life, you're nothing more than a hamster on the doggone wheel and you in place. You're running in place and you're just excited, just in place. Like my life is going somewhere. Yeah, it's going in circles. That's where your life is going to. Like I'm calling a buck, and then you, and I bring you my news, and then like Currency, like I promise you, and I'm so much appreciative of her, you know, being my right hand man. Yes, she has a dick. Yes, she stands up to peace. So yes, she's my right hand man, right? So I appreciate her because like it's not, you know, easy dealing with me. And I'm not saying I'm a hard guy. It's just that behind closed doors and off the microphone, we have real live conversations. And then, you know, she calls me like, hey, you doing too much. You spending too much money over there. A, you not generating. A, you not. And me in turn, I'm like, okay, cool. You need the ABC. So it ain't for the weak at heart. It's not. And I think what happens is people surround themselves with their fictitious friends that doesn't ask a lot of them, right? And then they even surround themselves more so with people that don't even ask nothing back in return. They're like, okay, what can you do for me? Oh, you can do that. Oh, you can do that. You okay? And then they don't even check. Like she said, they don't even check for you. But the only time you hear from them is you get the fake phone call, the fake inquiry, right? Hey, how's it going? How's the family? Yada, yada. And it always spins back and it's going to hit somebody. I promise you it's going to hit somebody. And then when it happened again, they're going to remember. They hit you with the fake, what's up? How you doing? How's the family? And then the real reason why they come because they're never calling just to ask how you're doing. They're always calling with an ulterior motive. They'll get the niceties out of the way so it's not so obvious. And you fall for it every time because you're thinking like, oh, let me answer because that's my ace bone coon. Not realizing that every time that I answer the phone, I leave less than what I had before I answered it. Whether it be money, whether it be time, whether it be whatever it is you're leaving, you're less than. And okay, if the relationship that you're in, every time you engage in that relationship, you're leaving lighter than, then you're in the wrong relationship with that person. Like, let me slow that down because, like, I don't want to lose nobody. Whatever relationship that you're in, and every time you engage within that relationship and you leave lighter than, like, and whether it be money, time, energy, influence, whatever the case may be, if you're lighter than when you first entered in that relationship or you first entertain that phone call or you first entertain that outing, and every time you turn around, it's just like, you don't have nothing to show for it, then you need to go ahead, like, you know what, let me stop. I can't mess with you because I'm always lighter. And what's going to happen, you'll wind up empty because you're always giving and never getting.
Facts. And it's funny you say that because that's how, I said to Annette today, I said, one thing I know about me is that whoever I come in contact with, I make their life better. It's not on any cocky shit. I know it for a proven fact that I will make you want to grow up. I'll make you want to glow up. I'll make you want to start a business. I'll make you want to write a book. I'll make you want to get a blog. I'll make you want to get a podcast. I'll make you want to be in the gym. I'll make you want to find Jesus because that's who I am. So, and I'm such a giving person and I have such a big heart that I'm like, listen, if you don't want to win for yourself, I'll make you win for me. Shit. Because it's just, you got too much life to live to sit here and be waiting for the accommodations for somebody else. You got too much life to live and you got something in you. God gives us all something to do and to give back as a talent or whatever like creativeness he gave you, you have to eventually release that back into the world to bless somebody else. And so listen,
Facts.
you fuck around with me, you'll have a business plan before the end of the year. That's just how I roll. But the flip of the coin of that is this. I'm also now in the position where I don't fuck with certain people no more. What I mean by that? You'll see these shout out posts on Instagram and Facebook. Again, I live in a pretty small city. I know a lot of people. And I'm normally riding for anybody, especially Black women entrepreneurs. But there are some who I'm at the place now, I wouldn't mention their name in a room because you never give that same energy back. You want your business to win. You want you to thrive. You want you to rock. You want your name at the top of the list, but you never put nobody else's name out on the table. So at this point in life, I'm like, fuck you. You want a name? Go work for it. Bust your ass to do it. Because the thing of it is, if you give somebody a great service, they go tell 10 people. You give them shitty service, they go tell 20 people, regardless of the fact you still getting people out there. But if somebody come to me and be like, oh, Karen, do you know somebody who can do a cake? Yep, I know about 10 people I can give you right now. I'm probably down to 5 now because you never put nobody else's name out there. There's enough table for all of us to eat. There's enough table.
True. So let me, because we've been ranting a lot, and we pride ourselves on. No, I'm not gonna say being transparent. Nikki told us about that, right? Not my Nikki, but ET's Nikki. So we pride.
2 words she don't want us to say no more: pivot and transparent.
Well, damn that. Like, anytime you think she cool, but she ain't that cool, right? I got love, but not that. But when you think pivot, you think Chick-fil-A, but that's not this podcast. Shout out to Chick-fil-A. Nobody pivoted like Chick-fil-A. I'm going to say, anytime you think Chick-fil-A, think pivot. Like, because during this pandemic, I'm going to get back to the topic, right? But nobody pivoted like Chick-fil-A. So I'm going to keep saying pivoted when it's in concern or cohorts, whatever the word is, when it's talking about Chick-fil-A. But anyway, so we did a bunch of ranting, right? You know what I mean? And you probably caught a jewel here or there. But I want you to do is give somebody something actionable, Kern, if you don't mind. How can they, first identify the fake friends, right? Friend or foe. How can they identify these type of people, and what can they do to get these type of people out of their life? Like, let's give the people something tangible.
For sure. You have to grow. You have to start with you. You got to grow to a point where you. The best way to say it is this: when you're going through transition, when you're going to the place that God takes you, you got to go through isolation. And in that moment, when you're isolated, you will learn who's for you and who's not. And the reason I can say that is this: when I was writing the book, I still wanted to be the socialite. I would like to go out, go dance, go party. And DK had a conversation with me, and he goes, "I don't understand how you're supposed to be putting a book out, but yet you're at the bar. I don't understand how you writing a book, but you went out to dinner." And he was like, and you went to the bar on Tuesday, and now it's Friday, and you going out to dinner with your girlfriends, but yet your book isn't done. Yet you're not ready to hand in your work to the editor, but you want to be an author. And I was like, damn. I was like, he got to piss in my Cheerios at every point. So then I got smart, and he'd be like, where are you? Or, what are you doing? Would be the conversation, because we're going to go over some stuff. And I'm like, oh, I'm at the bar. I thought we had a conversation about this. I said, I have my computer with me. Not only did I eat dinner at the bar, I drank and danced. I still wrote my, however many chapters. So when you're going through when you get into your breakthrough, when you get into that lane of where you're supposed to be, when you find your niche, you have to go through isolation. And when you're in isolation, the people that reach out to you, the people who check on you, especially for your mental status, those are the people that are for you. The people who don't, like when I used to go to Starbucks and write my book, my friends would come to Starbucks and say nothing to me. They would just sit there and drink coffee just to kind of like get a couple words out of me. But they were like, let me go see my homie. Let me go see my girl. Let me go see my best friend. Let me make sure she good. Like she says she good, because I'm good. We have a podcast called How to Be Fine and Fine. And when you ask somebody, how are they? And they say fine. Fine is short for freaked out, insecure, neurotic. And what's the E?
See, look at you freestyling.
I know.
You forgot your lyric. You was the cast one on the stage. This is terrible.
Oh, that's neurotic and I gotta think of what the E is. I know. Freaked out is. I gotta think of what the E is. I'll come back to it. Do you know what the E is?
I don't.
I gotta think of what the E is. Freaked out, insecure, neurotic, and I gotta come back and think of what the E is. But when you're lying to yourself when you say you're fine, because you're projecting what you want everybody to be. You want everybody to feel that you're okay, so they don't really get to the heart of your matter. And that's not cool, because you, in turn, like, if you're like me, you got a big heart, you'll sit there and be like, oh, are you okay? And then, of course, they're like, oh, I'm fine. But then you do the investigative work. And it's like, no, everybody you have to, whatever energy you put out, you got to get back. And you got to get to the place where you don't accept anybody's trash ass energy. If they give you trash, give it right back. You got to start mirroring what people give you, flat out.
Okay. So what's the easiest way to do that, right? Because, like, I want to get it real practical, because you got a lot of people that they stay in the mix because that's all they know, and they don't benefit from it. They only benefit is just for the simple fact to say that they're in, they're amongst friends, whether their friends are true friends or not. They just want to be in, in the mix amongst these people, not realizing that their life is on hold or in a holding pattern is due to the fact of the company that they keep. So how would you talk? Because it's a habit. Because think about what you said. I'm not, and I should have put your card back then, but I didn't. So I'm gonna pull it now. Please forgive me. Cuss me out later. So you said you took your laptop to the bar, but think about how much more. And no, not because I think your book was great, right? But think about how much better your book would have been if you would have. You know what? I can't. Because and they mean me well, and I deserve the blow of steam because I'm still young, I'm still cute, my ass is still fat. I know you don't, and so you want to go show off. It's cool, it's not a problem, right? And you think like I didn't work this, and that's before you got the job at the hospital. So I'm like, I'm not working these long hours, and then I'm in the house, hunting and pecking at it. Like, that sucks.
Yeah.
But what happens is, what you were saying is like, separation has to come, isolation has to come. And that's the price that we all pay. And what the people that really rock for you, they understand that. They don't talk you out of it, right? They actually encourage you to, like, you know what, I'm gonna holler at you. You know what, I'm gonna get back at you later. Because right. And I'm gonna check and make sure that you did what you're supposed to do. Those, like you said, those are the people you ride or die. That's you people that funk with you for real, because you told them you're supposed to be doing something, and then they get out the way and not giving you an excuse not to do it.
Or they hold you to task, or they hold you to the task.
Right. Well, that's both things. So what they do is they hold you to task, and then they don't create a situation when you feel a struggle whereas I'm missing out on something. So that's one thing I love about my little brother. Like, we never talk about, I'm doing Slim, I was at such and such, man, we went down and then I caught up with, we don't do that. I don't want to hype something up and make you feel as though that you're missing out when I know that, you working like a dog. When you know that, like, by the time I go to bed, I got to wake up, run behind this truck, come back in the house, take a shower, get back right behind this dog and computer and deal with crazy ass clients. You know what I mean? So it's just like, so you got to have people in your life that recognize where you are and then help you to create that space, to thrive in that space of isolation. What happens is we got a lot of people in our life and they're so selfish, they won't allow for that to happen. They'll be like, okay, I'm missing such and such. And since I'm missing them, let me at least call and not check upon how they're doing per se, but let me see if I can get them to go out. Not realizing, like, if I was doing something on my own, then I wouldn't call them because I have goals, dreams, and aspirations that I need to be accomplishing.
Right. And that's saying a lot. Like, you have to then, and again, you have to evaluate your circle. And I think that's what we're saying without saying it. You got to evaluate your circle. You have to be in a circle of winners. And you said this before on a different podcast, is that if you're the smartest person in the room, you need a new room. You need a new circle.
Facts.
Because your circle is no longer a circle. It's a cage, because now everybody's going to come to you, pull everything you know out of you, and you don't have anybody to pour into you.
Facts.
So, yes, in the beginning, when I was first writing the book, I would go out with the laptop. And then it became where I didn't even want to go out. And this was pre-COVID. This is long before pre-COVID. This is pre-COVID.
Facts.
And then, when we really got to podcasting, everybody now is at that space where they text me like, hey, are you working? Because they know my days off from the hospital mean I'm in the basement on the podcast. So that means you can't come out of the house. You can't ring the doorbell. You can't be here making a whole bunch of noise. You can't, be opening the door upstairs. You can't, there's just certain things you're just not going to do. And the thing is, you have to be open to what comes next. I think the hardest thing is that we love the people who, are in our life, whether it's your significant other, your spouse, your kids, your friends that you put in, but we make it so hard for them to leave because we feel like holding on to them, like they're the best thing that ever happened. It's not to say that they're not, but at some point you got to open your hand and say, here, God, this is what I got. This is my family. This is my business. This is my ideas. This is everything. Because when you go to God with a closed fist, God can't pour into you. God can't pour, can't refill you because you're holding on to what you think is yours. But if you give your God your hand wide open and say, God, I said this earlier. I think I said this yesterday. I said, the Lord giveth and the Lord taketh away. And I said, no matter who leaves me, God will replace them. And if he doesn't, that means I don't need that. I don't need that energy. I don't need that type of person. The Lord giveth and the Lord taketh away. The Lord giveth and the Lord taketh away. I've never seen the righteous forsaken, nor have I seen his seed begging for bread. Everything I have, I need. Everything I need, I have in some way, shape, or form.
Facts.
Whatever I need, I can call to me. Whatever I need, I can manifest. Whatever I need, I can, like, I have enough people in my life, in my circle. Like, if it's you, like, if I want to make $1,000, you and I can sit down and come up with a business plan and make $1,000 before the month is over. Flat out.
For the week is over.
Before the week is over. Yeah. Like, if it comes down to, if it really comes down to it, like, yep, I'll have to grind. I'll really, really, really have to, be uber focused. Can't do this, can't do that. Like, can't do shit outside of go to my 9 to 5 and then come home and do what we got to do. And probably while I'm at my 9 to 5, because quite as it kept, and while I'm at my 9 to 5, I still work for the podcast.
Well, and that's not to put our business all the way on Front Street, and that's the transition that we're making. So the time is going to be like the next 6 months, right? We're talking about isolation, and we're talking about separation, right? Creating that uncomfortable space so we can be uncomfortable because there's growth about to occur. Like, and I'm not throwing numbers out there. I'm not trying to blow smoke. That's not what I'm doing, right? Because if I can do it, I know this is uber cliche, but if I, of all people, me, if I can do what I'm currently doing now, anybody can do it. Only thing it takes is you just sitting down and get going. This shit is not, what we do is not rocket science. The only thing that we're doing, we're just being consistent. Like, our numbers are through the roof. Like, when we got started, we get like, I ain't gonna, okay, cool. Not a problem. Look, so, no.
When we first started, like 5.
Yeah, here and there. We got 5, and then we go a couple of days, maybe 1, maybe 2, maybe 3. Right. And so, right. And so the Bama David Shan said something real slick. And that's the host of, Social Proof podcast. I like, Sleepers for Suckers. I mess with Dave a lot. So I've been referencing him lately. And then he did the whole, and I'm biting that idea, by the way. I'm going to say it on the podcast because he does something on IG and he illustrates things with the magic marker. I ain't seen nobody else do it. So when y'all start seeing me doing it, I got that idea from him. So don't come at me talking about, you're biting, you right. I told you I was going to bite because I love the idea. But he did the illustration about how he was doing videos, and his videos was getting just light traffic, and he wasn't running no ads to him. But what happens was he dropped one video, and that video went viral. And now what happens is because people got that content that helped them tremendously, then they went to go look at the rest of the stuff because they thinking like, if he dropped this now, I know he's been hot for a long time. People just wasn't on him. And as he went back from that one video that blew up and they would start going back into his catalog, all those numbers start to go up. And so the reason that I'm referencing him is because that's what's happening to us currently, right? Like when you look at our first podcast, it was just drops in the bucket. Now me and her, like we oh, the jump is so noticeable. It's not even funny. So we're now currently trying to pinpoint like what the fuck is going on. But what happens is just the basic thing is just fucking consistency. Like it's not rocket science. And granted, we're yet to, get shouted out or somebody ain't plugged the podcast as far as being an influencer on IG, right? We've yet to have I think we have pretty dope guests. So for my guest that's been on the podcast, I don't want y'all to take this the wrong way, but we've yet to have a household name on the podcast, right? And our numbers are starting to become really serious, right? And so what I'm telling people and whatnot, like you just got to be uncomfortable. And while you're being uncomfortable, just stay consistent. That's the magic key into anything that you want to be in life. It's this consistency. No matter what life throws at you, just stay consistent, right? And so when doing so, you can't be consistent with inconsistent people in your life. And that's, the people that's, fake friends, but part-time friends, but full-time foes. That if you really want to maintain or get to where you're going to, you have to identify the part-time friends, full-time foes, and get them out of your life. That's first and foremost. Once you do that, don't feel bad about the time that you have on your hands because they're no longer there occupying that time with bullshit. Now you have the time to be productive. And see, that's what happened when you got a real life friend. A real life friend may not have an entrepreneurial spirit. A real life friend may not be a go-getter as they want to create a lifestyle outside of 9 to 5, but a real life friend will still champion you on and still push you to be the best version that you can be, although your dreams ain't their dreams. And let me get out the way because if we're still friends, I can still pick up the phone and rock, like ain't no time ain't passed, right? Like, I'm gonna give y'all a quick story. Before my little brother Kenny, my other ace boom coon, my man Los. Now I've been knowing Los way before, I bumped in and met Kenny, and I've been knowing Los since we were kids, right? And like we talk every blue moon, like, but he always, and it's crazy. My man is actually an ordained pastor now, but he hit me with the good word every morning. And then if I read it, you know what I mean? So when I get around, I read it. And then if something hit my spirit, I hit him back. And then we have a conversation. And then when we get to talking, there's no awkwardness there. He'll never say, why you don't hit me? He'll never say, man, I ain't heard from you such and such. How can you call my, he'll never ask me, how can I call myself a friend? First of all, we're family, right? I really don't have friends. I got family. But being as though he understands what path and journey I'm on, he never questions that. He just, whenever I reach out to him, it's always in support. And anytime he reaches out to me, it's always in support. That's the difference between when you got somebody that's fucking with you and you don't. Most of you people just like, they fuck with you in convenience. They're going to fuck with you when it's not a convenience, when they're not getting anything out of the deal.
Facts. It's convenient.
To say the least.
But, to be uber transparent and, really to kind of give like my final nugget, I'm going to say this because and I feel myself. Oh, E is emotional. There we go. I knew it would come to me.
So what is fine again besides me?
Freaked out, insecure, neurotic, and emotional. And I can feel myself getting emotional. Because the part about isolation that we don't honestly talk about is that we don't realize what isolation means. It's lonely. It's really, really lonely. And there are times where you go through stuff like mentally and emotionally that you can't even pick up the phone and call nobody to say, hey, this is where I'm struggling, because they don't have the capacity to deal with you. They don't have the capacity to deal with your dream. They don't have the capacity to deal with your goal. You got to really sit in that shit by yourself. The truth, and then the beauty of it is when you come out, you're like, you really can be Drake, all me. Besides God, you can be like, that's all me. Like when there was nobody to call, it was just me and Jesus. When there was nobody to call, it was just me pushing myself to go forward. Like if there's no other version of Black Mamba mentality, I mean, that's it. Isolation is the hardest. And the thing about it is you learn about you. Like I've had the lesson I'm learning right now currently is I can be so focused on everybody else's healing that I forget that I have my own to do. Because from the outside looking in, they're like, oh, she's this. Oh, she's that. Oh, she's got businesses. Oh, she's got a house. Oh, her car's paid off. Oh, her credit score is this. Yes, but I had to work my ass off to get there. It didn't happen one day. There's things I had to stop doing. For me to have a podcast, I had to let go of my social life. For me to have all these businesses, I don't do shit. I go to work. I go to my 9 to 5. I come home and I work again. There's no days off. I'm trying to fit in gym schedule and my kids in between recording and being at work. And if you think about it it sounds really great. It sounds advantageous, but it sucks sometimes because I'm tired. I don't want to do it. But I'm like, this is the life you say you wanted. So, but guess what, Buttercup? Suck it up and do what you got to do. You better get on that fucking mic and say what you need to say. And because at the end of the day, what we share helps somebody else. The transparency, the messages we get now is I never looked at it like that. Or, oh, I wasn't looking at relationships like that. And, oh, I didn't, I didn't know somebody else felt like that. So, isolation is lonely, but you will get through it. You will fight through it to your best efforts.
What did Nikki tell you about using the word, transparent? You gonna have her
transparent and pivot.
She gonna
listen. Just shout me out then. Just shout me out. Listen, you guys are the dopest listeners. You guys rock with us heavy week after week. When I say heavy, I mean heavy. Like DK said, our numbers jump like it's nobody's business. Y'all have definitely done more than my heart could ever dream of, more than my mind could, really conceptualize. Listen, you have taken me and DK's voice places our feet have yet to travel. You guys are the dopest. To follow us on social media, look in the show notes. I'm actually going to add my TikTok on there now that y'all, keep liking our reels on the on the Love Is podcast Instagram page, rather. You guys are the dopest. Can't do it without you. Love you, love you, love you. But this is where we pass my baby off to the mean man in the corner who about to go to Shady Pines, Mr. DK Walker.
Yeah, with you, I'm not understanding about me being in the corner, and I get the Shady Pines part, right? But I'm not in the corner. My Depends is still working, so
your desk ain't in the corner.
Nah, my desk is at the wall, and with Muhammad behind me, man. You keep talking like I'm just old. I'm not in the corner, to be honest. I'll send you a picture later. Look, I want y'all to think about something, right? I'm a huge Jay-Z fan, and the name of this podcast actually is, the name of one of the songs, Friend or Foe. So, I just want to read a quick line, and I'm not gonna try to rap it because I have no rhythm, right? I have no rhythm at all, right? So, in a line that's in the joint Friend or Foe, right? It says, "You leave me no choice, I leave you no voice," right? I'm going to say it again, right? You leave me no choice, I leave you no voice, right? And that's what you should do with, them fake ass friends in your life. They're leaving you no choice, right? Their action is leaving you no choice but to proceed in unfriending them. And I'm not talking about on some social media shit. I'm talking about real life unfriending, right? I'm talking about real life blocking. I'm talking about real life being unavailable. I'm talking about real life putting, in the words of the immortal Cat Williams, putting your star motherfucking player first, right? Cat spit some real game. We laughed, we kikied, and we caught and all that shit there. But when Cat did that skit or this comedy bit about the star motherfucking player, like Cat was on one, right? Because he told y'all the truth, right? And if you think about great comedians, the reason that they're the great ones, because is truth in their comedy. And he told y'all, if you want to get it all right, you got to take care of your star motherfucking player. And that star motherfucking player is you. Like, and don't feel bad. Don't like, and that's what happens. People make you feel bad for looking out for you. They make you feel bad for putting your best interest first. And society has taught you that being selfish is a bad thing. They tell you that you should always, and you should do for others. You should give, with a kind heart, with nothing, expecting nothing in return. You should go out of your way, being a blessing unto others. You should love the world like you love yourself. You should do all these things. But my question is to anybody that's listening, my question to anybody that can hear the sound of my voice, how can you be in a position to do any of that if you're on E? How can you be in the position to bless, right? Needing a blessing, right? How can you be in the position to love anybody, right? And your heart is filled with hate. So you got to take care of the star motherfucking player first before you go out, and do your best impersonation of Jesus Christ and start to be a blessing to the world. So don't think that being selfish is such a bad thing, right? Don't do that. What you need to do is like, you know what? I'm going to, and like you said, and my co-host, she said something real. I don't even understand, or maybe she don't understand what she said. She said that in isolation, you're lonely. In isolation is just you. In isolation, you got to fight your demons. So whatever your vices is that usually stop you from getting to, your goals, your dreams, your hopes, your aspirations, you got to fight that shit on and press on, right? So it's a lot to get where you're going to. But the first thing you got to do, man, you got to recognize who's in your life. And then once you're conscious of, okay, this person can stay because they add X amount of value. And it has nothing to do with money, has nothing to do with time. It's just the energy, the vibe they're in support. They're adding X amount of value. And so of course they're a keeper, but them fringe motherfuckers, them people that's on the fringe, that you keep them around just because they, fuck with them, there's a good time in store. Fucking around with them is always a good story to be told. Fucking around them and whatever, y'all can go ahead and get drunk. Fuck around with them, y'all can go ahead and get high. Fuck around them, y'all can go chase dick. Fuck around them, you go chase pussy. Like you keep, like you keeping them around, but there's no benefit long term in your life. So a person that hear this and another person will be like, oh, they on their horse, they on their high horse. We're not on a high horse because I too was once them. Kern too was once them, but what happens, the reason why our life is starting to change and the trajectory is on the way up, you know what I mean? It's because we're conscious of who's in our circle. You know what I mean? Bottom line, flat out, make those decisions. I know it's tough. I know you've been doing what you've been doing with these people for a long time, but like if you want to actually better your life, man, cut the dead weight and don't look back. You owe you that.
Facts. And that's what you got to take into consideration is what you owe yourself. Listen, it's your girl. It's that Thorny Chick here in KK Rose alongside my co-host, the lovable asshole, DK Walker. We love y'all. Go love somebody else. DK.
What?
Tell the people goodbye.
I ain't telling the people shit. Get the scissors, get the knife. Matter of fact, get the Ginsu knife, man. Get the cut, man. Get the cut. I don't care who you got to cut. Maybe you got to cut. Maybe your kids is dead weight. Cut their ass off. Maybe your mama's dead weight. Cut her ass off. Maybe your daddy dead weight. Definitely cut his false fake pimping ass off. Maybe your best friend is doggone dead weight. Cut him off. Cut him. Cut him deep. Cut him wide. Cut him.
It ain't nothing to cut that bitch off. Hey.
See, that's that young dick energy. I'm out.
This episode of the Love Is podcast has ended. But please be sure to subscribe for more great content on sex, entrepreneurship, life, love, and how to get through the BS of it all. And don't forget to rate and leave a review so we can continue to bring more of that thorny chick, Karen KK Rose, and, dare I say, the lovable a-hole, Mr. DK Walker. See you on the next podcast.